Alright guys, so I'm gonna break down basically the production for the track I did called Yeezus, which remixes the whole Yeezus album by Kanye West into one Moombahton track. So I basically started off with the pianos from Blood on the Leaves. So I chopped basically, I guess the intro notes, I chopped them. And then I took this vocal, this is another one from Guilt Trip. And then this is drums. This is, I think I pitched down another one again, it says. And then, oops, up here is the guitar lick from Hold My Liquor. So it sounds like this. Alright, and then the second half is basically the piano loop again. Then I chopped up some old school drums, added some kicks behind it, basically took a chop of a kick, followed the same sequence, used another one again, and the pitch down another one. It sounds like this. Alright, and then the same sequence again, but I start introducing this vocal from Hold My Liquor, which is fuck. I might have to take it off of 35. No, doesn't want to play. So I basically loop that, so as this ends, you end up hearing that coming in. So it's pretty much the same sequence, same piano sequence, with just the vocal on top. And then I use this chop from Blood on the Leaves. Kind of like an in-between chop, and then you have the drums going. And now over this section starts the build-up. So in the build-up, what you're gonna start hearing, you hear the vocal from Hold My Liquor, and you also hear the pianos going. There's some claps going in here. Where are they? Yeah, these Lex Luger claps. Then you have this synth that's building up. This is the synth from On Site. Let me take it off. So basically that's building up in the background. So let me stretch out and I'll play just that. It's quiet, but it's building up. It's supposed to be like in the background type of shit. And here it goes. So that's that. And then under it, you have this vocal from what the fuck is? It's either I'm Sight or I'm In It. One of those two. That he says like, "Bitch, I'm back on my." Back up my bitch, I'm back up my bitch, I'm back up my. So that's kind of building up over here. So that's that, and then you have claps in the background. Chop from Hold My Liquor, and this is, I think this is a piano. Yeah, so piano chops. So all that is kind of like building up at the same time. So that's the build up. Now we get into the first part of the drop. First part of the drop, we use this chop from I Am a God, the 808s. So I just used one stab of it, and you know, I have my own drums from my sample pack, Moomba God. I'll put a link to the store for that. I have my own sample packs if you guys don't know, but I use them myself. You know, I wouldn't endorse a product and not use it, but yeah, I use these chops that I've created over time to do my own drums and shit like that. So you feel free to buy them if you want. If not, who cares? Then I have some drums in here. So you have the drums right here. I think this is just a chop of a snare. And then on pattern 4 you have another snare from a rap music. And then I had some white noise added in that I used 3XOSC. Just created some white noise, and you know, I didn't put anything on the channel, but it's pretty much white noise. Nothing crazy. Alright, so at the end of the bar I used a vocal chop from my minute, but I just used this part, so that's like marking the end of the bar. For the synth, I use the synth from Send It Up, but obviously I didn't use it in that way. What I did was I used gross beat to do some side chain, and then I used gross beat again to give it whatever was left from the side chain, some kind of rhythm, then a chorus, reverb, and a delay, and then it sounds like this. And then all together, okay, so now the second part of the sequence, second part of the drop, all the same sounds, but I added in some claps on the 4 count. Now for the synth, I did something different. Instead of pitching the Send It Up synth, I guess octave higher or whatever, what I did was I took the scream from my minute and did the same thing, gross beat, side chain, and cuts for the rhythm, chorus, reverb, delay, and when I import it back in, this is what it sounds like. So I mean, you can't really tell, but you know, I thought it was creative, you know, whatever. Alright, and then the end of the bar, I used the chop from Blood on the Leaves, where he says these bitches. So you get, and I use that as a kind of like a segue to build into these bitches surrounding me, this section here. So that builds into that, and you hear it like this. And then it ends on that's a chop from Black Skinheads, is it? Yeah, Black Skinheads, the God. So altogether that sounds like this. So that's that. Now you have build up number 2. Build up number 2 consists of samples from I'm In It. It's the kick sequence where he has like the reggae guy coming in. So basically wanted to create some kind of a build up sequence off of that, and you utilized that it had a lot of low end and sub in that kick. So I just added a regular kick in there from my Dembow pack, and sub from my Dembow pack, and Vengeance hit. Then in the middle of it I used the Honey from Bound To, and then I used the little chops from On Sight. So it all, like, I'll play it one at a time so you hear what it does. But let me put the EQs back on. Okay, so from there, I'll add in the honeys. And then under it, I added the on-site little synth. And then all together, you have this. Now, for the last part of the build-up, just to, I guess, to make it more intense, the kicks come in more frequent. And then I keep chopping it up all the way from, I guess, the beginning to right into the end, and I work myself into this vocal that says Yeezus just rose again. Yeezus just rose again. And that's from Send It Up. But you hear what I did? I chop up the honeys again. And I just pitch them down here. But I have the Send It Up, the I'm In It vocal under it. And all I did was just like all these little chops, I just raised the pitch as it got further and further into the track. I just raised the pitch higher and higher. Then with the drums and the same thing to sub into it, I cut it up, and it sounds like it sounds. So that's that part. So now we have, I guess, drop number 2. Drop number 2, I try to do kind of like do the same thing, but add some variations to it to kind of like make it different, basically. So again, you have the sub kick from I Am a God. Then I added in these little reggae hey vocal sounds. I took the same sequence of the synth, not the synth, the actual vocal chop. I'll show you the vocal chop from I'm In It, the scream. So I took that same sequence, I exported it to Wave, then I brought it back in and I pitched it all the way up to the top, so you end up with, and it's the same exact sequence. So I brought that in, then I brought a little typical air horn type of thing. Then I added the synth from Guilt Trip. And I started using this vocal, the 300 Bitches from Black Skinhead. So you get that, and then this sequence I just repeated it, but instead of asking where the Trojans, I used this chop from Hold My Liquor. Bitch, I'm back out my coma. So I just used that chop for the end to kind of like go into the next sequence of the track. So I guess that kind of like makes it a little bit different than what it was. So from there, now we start this new sequence. The new sequence is going to start with the intro melody from New Slaves. So what I did is I stretched this out to 110 and I pitched it up. And then I took the vocal from the Travis Scott vocal from Send It Up, where he says, send this bitch up, it can't come down. It can't go down. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to make the sequence fit what I was doing with the track. So I had to kind of chop up the vocal a little bit to make I guess a rhythm to it. So I added a dembo here. It's just basically a dembo rhythm. And then I had the vocal going. So you got that, and then I added the New Slaves thing on top. Then the second half of it, I just added in another one of my loops, dembo, classic dembo from like reggaeton, tracks, and I pitched it down. So I brought it in together. So now this sequence, I guess, is drop number 3, you could say. So I took, again, another part of the New Slaves intro melody, pitched it, I left the pitch alone. I stretched it out for 110, and I let it run with the classic dembo, the regular snare for the dembo rhythm, the chop kick, a ride on every, I guess every other kick, and some sub kicks from my sample pack, and white noise again over here. And that sounds like this. So that's that, and then I use this vocal again from a minute. Then the next second half of that, I just added in Moochie Shaker, and then it sounds like this. And the next half is like, I guess, the second part of the third drop. Took more of the intro melody, but this time I pitched it up from New Slaves and stretched it to 110. And you have this. And then I added some little Colombian percussion. And same thing again, I added in the Moochie Shakers to make it more, I guess, a little more intense with the percussion. And we build up into God again. So now this is, I guess, the third build up before it goes into the outro of the beat. Third build up, basically I copied the same sequence as the second build up, which was, I'll play it for you, this. So I followed that same sequence, but I wanted to use a different part of the song. So what I took is the end sample from New Slaves. I took that and I chopped it up in the same sequence to get that same kind of rhythm, but obviously different sounds. Alright, so that's basically the third build up, which is the same as the second, but just different sounds, different song, same beat. So now the outro cuts into another part of the New Slaves end sample. That, and then I added drums over it again, chops from my sample packs with a Arab music clap. and some hi-hats, and you get this. Alright, so then for the outro, basically in the end of our minute, he does this whole line there. He says, I'm balling in the D-League, or some speaking swag Healy, whatever it is. D-League, swag Healy. So I figured I could make some kind of rhythm out of that with, again, the New Slaves and sample, and then I took the drums that I used in the beginning and added this all together on top, and you get this. And that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much how I did the beat. It's every sample from every fucking song on the Yeezus album. Please comment, subscribe. I'm gonna try to do more videos like this, showing off more of how I do my productions. If anybody's interested, please comment, let me know what you like, what you want to see more of, blah blah blah, and we can pretty much go from there.